Awesome. So for the folks who are just dialing in now, and for the folks who are catching up on the recording, this is a session about Hylo, the online platform that everyone from Planetary Health Alliance annual meeting is going to be able to join and continue to engage and connect and create projects through. And in this session, we'll give you a little bit of a welcome to set the context around the platform and where it came from. We'll share a little bit more about our partnership with Planetary Health Alliance, and then we'll take you through a demo. It's much more fun to actually see it live rather than me telling you about it. So hopefully that will be a really quick time for us, and we'll keep it exciting. I know everyone is dialing in from many different time zones, and we will end with plenty of time for discussion and Q&A. So please, I hope you have a cup of tea and make this as interactive as you would like. And for those who are dialing in and checking out the recording after the fact, really appreciate you taking the time to be here and to catch up on what's going on. Anything else to add, Max, before I start sharing my screen and diving in?
I don't think so. We'll keep letting people trickle in. Please feel free to introduce yourself and where you're calling in from in the chat. I think we can go ahead and get started.
Great, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'll look for some thumbs up from folks. Cool. And let's give you present mode. Awesome. Okay, so welcome. We're here talking a little bit about Hylo and Planetary Health Alliance, and we know it's so unusual for so many different regions to get together in the same place. And usually this really happens during a conference, but many of us want to continue those conversations and those connections after the conference is over. And so this is a little bit about how you can do that and how we want to support all of the incredible projects that you all have going on. Just going to pop and check out the chat to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, great introductions. Love it. So my name is Neha. For those of you who I haven't met before, I am a core steward of Terran Collective. And we are, our goal is to amplify cooperation among people regenerating our communities and our planet. That means all of you. So as a collective, we are artists, permaculturists, activists, systems thinkers, and we really felt like we wanted a tool that could help us do our work more effectively in a trusted way and in the scale of the bioregion. So we sought out to build this tool. And we really wanted to focus on building deeper trust and relationships, improve collective sense making, have coherent and consensual collective decisions, and coordinate impactful action. So a lot of what we're trying to do is take this online energy and translate that into offline impact. So that brings us to Hylo. Hylo is a platform that allows us to do this. It's holonic and place-based. It's where people can come to form relationships and groups. Groups can be a part of one or many communities. You can collaborate inside of and across networks, and you can also coordinate within movements. And I know this is a lot, and don't worry, we'll go into the platform and really show what this actually means. And ultimately, we really want everyone to be able to break out of silos. So many of us probably have experience with different email listservs or groups, and it's great to coordinate within that group. But some of us also know that there are many other groups working on the same initiatives and movements. So how can we break out of these silos and see more transparently what everyone is doing and bring our initiatives and collective energy together? And I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say this, but no group can single-handedly regenerate the planet. It will take all of us. It will take many different types of groups and perspectives and regions and skill sets to be able to repair and be in a thriving relationship with each other and our planet. So that's really the heart and the why behind what we are here to do.
Hey, Neha, can you define holonic for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So holonic, really, well, we translated this into a technical architecture, but it's to be a whole part of a whole part. And knowing that there's also a shape or a philosophy that one might know as a holon. And the way the internet defines this is something that is simultaneously a whole in and of itself, as well as a part of a larger whole. So for example, there is the Clinicians for Public Health group at Planetary Health Alliance. And the Clinicians for Public Health group is a whole group in itself. But that group also exists within the larger group of Planetary Health Alliance. So we recognize that while they are their own entity, they are still connected to something larger. And thank you so much for asking this, Max. It's not a very frequently used word, and I'm happy to drop in more definitions as well. But this speaks to why we really want to allow groups to coordinate within and across each other, because each group is a whole part of a larger part. And I think everyone on this call knows this. And to be whole with the planet, we need to be more familiar with this type of philosophy rather than continuing to do things in silos. Did that get what you were hoping for, Max?
Yes, thank you so much.
Absolutely. So a little bit about how we build Hylo. Our values are really important to us, and we also want to share these with all of you so that you hold us accountable. So we really believe in 7-generation thinking, knowing that the health of our planet is so much more than this blip in time. We have to be thinking about the 7 generations before us and the 7 generations coming next. We also believe in relationship-centered design. So creating these things in partnership with people, knowing that this human connection and trust is at the center of what we're doing. We also believe in transparency. So all of the decisions and the governance around Hylo is available to you. Every feature that we're creating, every new tool that we're thinking about, we share with all of you so that you can get a good sense into what's happening, why, and to be invited to be co-creators with us. We also believe in interoperability. So we have to play nicely with all different types of tools and different resources and systems. This means that we want to know the tools that are most useful to you so that we can help you be more connected to those and be integral in that interoperability. So we're not here to try to replace every single system that you already have. We're here to try to make them work more seamlessly together. We also believe in data sovereignty, which means that we will not sell your data. You will not get ads. We are not going to do anything with your information that would compromise any security. And this is fundamental to what we see as needed in the world. We also believe in inclusivity, which means that the features and tools that we're building have to be built with people not just for people? And how can we build tools that bridge digital divides rather than perpetuate them? And we also believe in collective stewardship. So knowing that all of you are participants in this, you all have a voice, you all have influence, and you're all empowered to be a part of Hylo and really bringing your projects to life, because we need that. Our communities need this, the planet needs this, and we want to help you do that. And don't worry, I'll stop talking soon. I know I'm talking a lot at all of you, but we're almost there. So just to reiterate on the values of Hylo and of Terran Collective, and then to bring those to Planetary Health Alliance. We were so thrilled and humbled that Planetary Health Alliance exists. And from here, I'll pass this to Max, who can share a little bit more about why we see this as such a mutual success and a mutual partnership. And it's people and like Max and Marie and Jeremy and everyone who is here to help bring this to life, and all of you on this call that made this a very easy yes for us to be in partnership with all of you. So with that, I'll pass it to Max and just let me know if you want me to skip ahead to any slides.
Great. Thank you so much, Neha. Yeah, so this mutual partnership, it's such a reflection of the type of mutualism that we're wanting in nature and we're mimicking in nature. So it's been such a pleasure and just such a fun time and so rewarding to be working with the whole Terran Collective team for this past year to really create and co-create a platform that works for everybody and can help us achieve the great transition. So before we even found the Terran Collective and Hylo, we were envisioning an online networking community platform for our community, because we really needed something that would represent the PHA's core initiatives, values, and membership in a tangible way. We're living in this virtual world now, and it can be hard to feel like we belong and like we are actually in community spaces. And so just becoming a member of the PHA sometimes isn't enough if you're not able to actually interact directly with people. We needed something that facilitates really authentic connections that are cross-cutting across all of our diverse planetary health themes, and that are sustainable, because sometimes, we meet someone once or we start one project and it kind of fizzles out because it's hard to sustain collaborations. We really wanted something that aligned with planetary health values, so something that was free and accessible by people and technologies around the world, and something that would easily allow PHA members to not only visualize, but to directly plug into what we say, who's doing what where in planetary health. Really important to us, and some of you who are on our earlier calls may have heard more about the PHA's move towards really decentralized leadership with the launch of the regional hubs and different affinity groups. So we needed a platform that would really increase community sovereignty through self-organizing, direct peer-to-peer sharing, and this decentralized leadership. And all of this, we hope, would help to energize, organize, and archive the collaborations and actions within our communities. So really, we wanted a platform for the PHA community, but also something that houses the PHA within a greater ecosystem of people who have shared values and are working to regenerate the planet. And if you can believe it, we found all of this in Hylo and the Terran Collective, as you just heard. I saw someone put in the chat that it's the perfect planetary health platform, and it really truly is. So we're so excited after a long year's work to be relaunching the platform today during Planetary Health Week, and it will continue to grow and evolve with all of us. So you can learn more at the website, on our website /Hylo, but go to the next slide, Neha. Great, so that was a little bit about what we were envisioning, and today we have achieved all of that. So we have major improvements on both the web and mobile app of Hylo, and new features that were really customized for the planetary health Alliance community with access to everyone beyond that as well. So you can join Hylo today, which we'll hopefully do at the second half of this call. And already you'll find more than 30 groups within the PHA network that really reflect what's going on in our community. And beyond the PHA, like I mentioned, there's a larger ecosystem of mission-aligned communities that you can explore and find new organizations that can become PHA members, that can join your hub, and we can just keep expanding our community. So Hylo is open to both individuals and organizations. And if you're a part of an organization, you can also easily create your own group to organize your community, since we often share many of the same challenges and have the same needs when it comes to organizing our communities virtually. So on Hylo, members can easily find each other according to geography, skills, interests, what you're learning. You can share announcements, discussions, requests, and offers. And I'll say too that we get emails all day, every day about people wanting to share things with the planetary health community. So going forward, Hylo will be the place where you can best share what's going on with members of our community directly. And it's also really easy to tag PHA staff if you want our help amplifying it further in our newsletter or on social media. You can easily map people, groups, and resources within the PHA community. There's an amazing new map feature. And like I said, easily start projects and groups to take action for planetary health. And finally, as Neha was saying, we invite you to be part of the continued co-creation of Hylo, and you can contribute to Hylo's transparent roadmap of features ahead. Next slide, please. Yes, here's the Hylo mascot again, telling you to go to our website to learn more. We'll do a demo, but here's just some quick screenshots of some of the new features. They look better than this fuzzy photo, but you can see on the left a brand new homepage that takes all the recent activity happening in our community. You can see some stuff popping up on the map in the center, and on the right, you can see the beginnings of an amazing network map of our community and all the different groups within it. And lastly, I just wanted to share some other PHA community building updates to help give context. As I mentioned, individual membership in the PHA is launched today. So previously, PHA membership was only available to organizations, and now anybody and everybody is invited to join the Planetary Health Alliance, and this happens directly through Hylo. So you can join on Hylo. We will accept your request within a couple hours, up to a couple days, and you can just start engaging right away. Another exciting announcement is the launch of PHA Regional Hubs 2.0, as we call it. There are 10 hubs worldwide, and you can join as many as you want. Like in many of our initiatives, there are many leadership opportunities available. And again, all of the hubs have their own Hylo group, so you just join directly on Hylo. Next line, awesome. Something we've also worked really hard on this past year is improving member onboarding. So as you can tell, the flow for individuals joining is all streamlined within Hylo. We've created new onboarding materials that are really fantastic to read. We're expanding eligibility of our organizations that can join. And starting after the annual meeting, we're hoping to do monthly onboarding calls with all new individual and organizational members. So you can join on Hylo, but then you also have a place to put faces to names. And lastly, this has just really been a priority for us, is just deepening member engagement. So the PHA has grown so much in the past 5 years. Planetary health was not really a field as it is today, and now we have 250 member organizations more from over 55 countries. So now we're really shifting our focus to making sure our member engagement is really deep and authentic and sustainable. So we're doing this through Hylo, through the regional hubs, through different surveys, radical listening, and annual reports where we can reflect what's going on back to you, and through virtual community calls like this and different partner events. And that is all from me. We'll pass it back to Neha to tell you and show you the PHA online members community.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Max. So here's a little bit more of a sneak peek of what Hylo looks like. And we just wanted to reiterate, join the free and inclusive virtual coordination space. This is open to all of you. Since we started earlier today, there has been so much excitement, new members, new projects happening. And if you really want to get a sense of who's doing what where, you can get started here. So we just want to make it really easy to find fellow change makers according to geography, skills, interest, and so on. So you can see the links in chat, and we're going to go check this out live as well. And one other piece is this getting started guide. So if you want to take your time in joining Hylo and get a sense of what it's all about and where to start, there's this incredible guide that's been created for you. And don't worry, you don't need to read all of this right now. You can go ahead and, well, if I figure out how to exit full screen, there we go. If you go to the link, planetaryhealthalliance.org/Hylo, you can see all of the information that we're talking about today here. You can see what it means to be a part of the online members community. You can join as an individual or an organization. You can learn more about Hylo and our values and Terran Collective. And then you can also look at this getting started guide. So feel free to go ahead, click on this button, take your time with it. If you have any questions, we are available to you. So please don't hesitate. This week is a little bit crazy just because we're all getting started, and it's a very exciting week. So it might take a couple of hours to respond to you, but we will get back to you. And we want to hear how your experience is. So again, this link is in chat, and feel free to take your time with it. But with that, you've heard a lot about Hylo. Let's actually get into Hylo now. And as I go to hylo.com, if you feel so inclined, this is one of the Zooms where I encourage you to open up another browser. Feel free to not look at my face as I'm talking to you, and go ahead, go to hylo.com, go to the links that are in the chat, and you can just roll along with us. So here we're at Planetary Health Alliance main page. And here you can see a little bit of a description about what Planetary Health Alliance is. You can see some welcome announcements. We know this is a lot of information, so we want to have an easy place for folks to just be welcomed and get started. You can see recently active members. There are over 900 individuals in this place. You can see the open requests and offers that are happening. Most of these have just come in the last few hours, which is very exciting. You can see the different topics that are happening within this space, upcoming events, film screenings, and so on, different projects and different groups. So this is just a really high level of what's happening in Planetary Health Alliance. You can read more here. You can also show less if that's taking up too much space. You can see who the group moderators are and explore different members. But before we get into all of this, let's just start with ourselves. So and I'm not paying attention to chat at this moment, but I will pause and look at that. So please don't feel like I'm ignoring you if you're asking questions there. But as we get started in Hylo, let's start a little bit with ourselves and our profile. And this is so people can recognize us. My name is Neha Sharma. I'm based in Oakland. I can go ahead and edit my profile so that it's easier for others to find me, recognize me, and learn more about what I'm interested in. So you can upload a picture of yourself, and I already have a picture, so I'm not going to update that. You can update a background photo, maybe your favorite spot in nature, or whatever is most exciting to you. You can have a tagline. So mine is to tap into collective foresight in order to regenerate our planet. You can learn a little bit more about me, and this can be a little bit more verbose. You can imagine your website bio or your LinkedIn bio. Feel free to just copy paste that in here. My location. So here I have Oakland. You can put different levels of specificity. I can also put a zip code. I could put New Delhi, wherever I want people to associate my region with. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back to Oakland. A website, Terran Collective is terran.io. So I just put that in there. Different skills and interests that I have. I enjoy cooking and plants and design. I can continue to add more. I really love walking. So feel free to make that as exhaustive or brief as you would like. And this will be
one thing here.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Excitingly, we've added some suggested skills for the PHA community. So once you join the PHA, you'll get a list of maybe 10 or so skills that relate most directly to different planetary health themes. So different environmental changes and health impacts. So note that that's there for you too, to help organize our community.
Perfect. Thank you, Max. And that's really great because I don't know about you all, but sometimes when I have to think about myself and what I'm interested in, I draw a blank because there's so much. And so there's a really great list and some prompts available to you to just get into that flow. There's also a section about what I'm learning. And we put this here because we know that many of us are still in that constant inquiry and learning mindset. And to enable that and to try to find what other people might be interested in, we've added this what I'm learning section to really encourage that constant education. So what I'm learning currently is more about cooperatives, collective governance, land projects, and plant dyes. I've also put in a contact email. I personally don't want people to have my phone number, but if you do, you can put that in there as well. And then you can also link other social accounts if that's exciting to you. Make sure that when you update this to click on Save Changes so that all of that incredible work and details about you is available. Max, any other points about this before I go on to affiliations?
No, I think that's great. One thing I will say is if you follow the link we just put in the chat and it's your first time on Hylo, that's a direct link to the PHA community where you can start uploading your profile. But if you are someone who has been on Hylo before, we also ask that you go into your profile and update it because we've added some of these new features like what I'm learning and different skills. So definitely everybody make sure your profile is as cool as you are.
Awesome, thank you. And that's very relevant to affiliations. So because there are so many different groups and organizations and movements that I'm a part of, I want to be able to see all of that in one place and really understand what I'm a part of as a member or a moderator. And so you can see all of that here. And this will show up in your profile as well. So I'm a part of many different groups from the Bay Area bioregion to Buckminster Fuller Institute to Hylo governance and so on. And here I can just get a really great overview of what I'm a part of, and then also leave things that I may not be so active in anymore. So these are all spaces on Hylo, but there are things that I'm a part of that aren't on Hylo, and I also want the world to know about those. So I can actually add in other affiliations that are completely separate. So as you can see, I'm a council member for Foundation for Intentional Communities, and I can also add in other things like board member. Oops. And for example, let's say I'm a board member of an organization called Regenerative Initiatives. And I can add in the website as well. This is fake, so I'm not going to add in a website, but if I were to just add in the affiliation, now it just shows up. And so we really want people to have a holistic view of what they're a part of and to share that with everyone. And that's why we've included this other affiliations concept. There are also invites and join requests that I see. And this is relevant to all of you because there are so many different amazing groups that are a part of Planetary Health Alliance. And this is one spot where I can see, what have I been invited to? What have I requested to join? And what might not I be a part of yet? So as you can see here, Tibet, core steward of Terran Collective, an incredible developer behind Hylo, has invited me to join Terran Collective. And I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And that will take me directly to that space. But we're not going to go there quite yet. So notifications. Now, this is something that we really want you to think about, because I think we're all realizing that it's important to have really healthy relationships with technology. And a part of having transparency and sovereignty as a part of our values is to really empower you to decide when you receive notifications from Hylo, where those come from, and what they're about. So here I've listed that I would like a daily email digest from Hylo, but I could update that to be weekly. I could decide whether or not I'd like to receive notifications about new comments and where I would like to receive those notifications. And then this can be really specific to different groups as well. So for messages, for example, I want emails and I also want a phone notification. If I didn't want those, I would just go ahead and click and gray those out. But because I think that messages are really important, especially if they're coming directly to me, I do want to see those notifications. I can look at Trim Tab Space Camp specifically and decide, you know what, that's something that I don't need phone notifications about, but I do want emails, and so on. So Real Food Campaign, there's a lot of exciting stuff happening there. I'm going to go ahead and just turn on my phone notifications. So we want this to be as specific and tailored to your own desires as possible. So whenever you feel like it, as you get started, just to make sure that this is working for you in the way that you decide, go ahead and update all of your notifications and how you'd like to be pinged from Hylo. We're almost done with this portion, don't worry. You can update the email that's associated with Hylo. You can change your password. I'm going to go ahead and mute. Oh, someone beat me to it. Nice. And then I can also see different saved searches. Just for my own mental organization, that's something that's helpful to me. And so these are all of the things that I can go to if I click on my image and then my profile. So now you can see all of the things that I'm a part of. You can also see my recent activity, some test messages, of course, and so on. So I'll pause there in case there are any questions about profiles. I'll take a look at chat really quickly. Max, feel free to chime in. And if there's nothing, then I'll go ahead and we'll talk about how to discover other members. So we'll sort of close off what it means as an individual to update your part of Hylo, and then talk about what it means to find and connect with each other.
Great. I'm going to share some relevant questions. We got one that someone doesn't use social media. They only have email, Zoom, phone, and could you join with just that? And the answer is yes. You do not need any sort of other social media. In fact, Hylo is actually a great alternative if you're really not into some of the bigger social media. So you only have to join with your email. And this becomes a place where you can check in on what's going on in the planetary health world without having to get all of the other stuff. So that is a yes. There's a question about invite links and being able to share invite links. Maybe we'll get to that in the next section when we talk more about groups and joining. But yeah, that's all I see.
Awesome. Thank you. And thanks for the great questions. Yes, absolutely. Social media is not required. I wish it weren't required in many aspects of our life, but email only is great. That's wonderful. And if there are any other questions, we'll have a whole section at the end of this call. And you'll also have our email addresses. You can reach out to support within Hylo as well. So please don't hesitate. If something comes up, there's a place for us to get to that and respond to that.
That said, Neha, before you leave this page, if you do want to link your social media, it actually will come up. So you can see under Neha's name, if you scroll up. So she only put her email, but you can add like your Twitter and other things, and that would show up here.
Awesome. So I'm going to go back to my home really quickly, and just to give you a sense of what we're looking at now. As you all saw, I'm a part of many different groups, and I want a place to be able to see all of the posts from all those groups in one spot. So these are all of the groups I'm a part of. And what we're seeing here on this stream are posts from all of those groups. So we've got Planetary Health Alliance, we've got Building Hylo, we've got PHA again, Terran Collective. So this gives me a really curated stream of all of the things that I'm a part of. I can also see all the different topics that are happening across all of my groups, and so much more. If I wanted to go ahead and write a post, maybe I wanted to offer something, I can go ahead and do that as well. And I have a friend who has so many grapefruit trees, and he dropped off 200 grapefruits. So I'm going to go ahead and say grapefruits available anytime. They are fresh. And this is happening. This is an offer, but you can already tell that from there. This is happening in the Bay Area. This is fruit. And this is free. Now, this is available to folks in the Bay Area bioregion because it's geographically specific, but I can post this in many different groups that I know are in the Bay Area. So I can also post that to Bay Area Mutual Aid and many other spaces. If I wanted to post this to PHA North America, I could. It's a really wide range, But as you can see here, I can make a single post available to many different groups. I'm only going to be able to do this today. Well, let's give folks more time. We can do it until tomorrow as well. And this is in Oakland, California. If I want to make this more visible or exciting, I can upload a picture. So what we've built in here is, rather than needing to open a new tab or browser and find an image, I can just go ahead and do that within Hylo. I can upload that and then post. So what you just saw me do is create a post and an offer that is showing up in multiple groups and has an image. And say, for example, that I just got a notification from my house that they've actually used up all of the grapefruits. We had brunch and now no more are available. I can go ahead and update this and say, okay, they're no longer available. This is to try to make information as accurate and real time as possible. And so we actually give you a prompt so that you know if you still have open offers, open requests, or whether or not they've been completed. So now to go back to what it means to be within Planetary Health Alliance specifically, I'm going to go ahead and click into PHA. Now what I'm seeing here is the landing page that we started with at the beginning. So this is the main sort of umbrella space that hosts all the different open requests and offers within PHA, the different posts that are happening here, and so on. I can actually see all the different members that are a part of PHA if I click on this members section here. So if you remember, we updated our profile and there's so much incredible information in our profiles. And if I'm looking for someone who is maybe very skilled in design, I can go ahead and click into the members section and actually search by name, skill, or interest. So I want to know who within PHA is really good at design. And now I can see right away, I have Aaron, Elaine, Alexandra, Alex, so many different people who have design skills who I could tap into to help me with my projects. And I know that we are a part of a larger movement together. I can also search for someone specifically. So if I wanted to find Max, there she is. So if I click on Max's profile, now I can see all of the different things that she's interested in. Her different skills, the different communities that she's a part of. She's also a campaign and policy manager of MHSLC. I can go ahead and click that and it opens up a new tab. I can learn more about what she's up to in the world. So there's so much you can do within the members, and this is one way to view that. But there's a different way, and I don't know about all of you, I'm a very visual person. So I actually like to see a map. That really helps me understand who is doing what where. So if I click on the map, I can see the entire planet, and Hylo will show me all of the different members, projects, and posts that are happening and where. So there's so much happening around the world within Planetary Health Alliance. And here I'm seeing all the different members, all the requests, the offers, the resources available, other events that are happening, and projects. But if I just wanted to see maybe who's a member in my region, I'm really tired of this pandemic. I want to be able to see people in person safely. This gives me a really easy way to just only show the members and actually allow me to zoom in to my specific area. And I can see, wow, there are so many people within the bay who I can connect with. And as I zoom in and out, you're probably noticing that the cards on the right are also updating. So I see there's Erin, Emma, Carly, so many different folks in my region who I can reach out to, who I know are a part of Planetary Health Alliance. And you can toggle these on and off as you desire. If you want to see only the events that are happening or only the offers, you can do this. So again, what we're seeing is everything that's happening within Planetary Health Alliance. And I know many of you must be thinking, but there are so many different groups within Planetary Health Alliance. I am seeing some chatter about clinicians for planetary health. There's a next gen group. So how can you get a sense of all the different groups that are within Planetary Health Alliance? So if we go back here, you can see that there's a section called groups. Now this is what we're talking about when we really talk about holonic architecture and breaking out of silos. There are 31 groups that are a part of Planetary Health Alliance. There are so many different aspects and skills-based groups that make up this huge, incredible alliance. And you can see all of those here. You can see them visually if you click on these different spaces, and these will take you to those groups. Or you can see them in list form. So as you can notice, there are probably groups that I can be a part of. There are probably groups that aren't relevant to me. I'm not in Europe. So PHA Europe is not something that I really need to be involved in, but it's nice to know that it's there. So as I'm scrolling and you can see all these different groups, you'll also notice different icons that are showing up with each group. And I'll go through and explain a little bit about what these all mean. So if we look at PHA Regional Hubs, you can see that this group is public. Anyone can find and see this group. This group is also open, which means that anyone who sees this can join the group. So if you click on this, you can see how this group relates to other groups. So PHA Regional Hubs is made up of 11 other groups. We've got PHA Caribbean, Central and West Africa, and so on. So this lets you understand who is a part of that larger whole. And here I can also see that, you know what, maybe I am going to be moving to Europe and I would love to be a part of that group. So I can click this join button and this will prompt me to answer some questions. So I can see what countries I'm going to be affiliated with in Europe, the type of work that I'll be doing, what type of resources I can contribute to this regional hub, and whether or not I'm available for leadership opportunities. So I'm going to say that I'm going to visit, let's say, Germany and Portugal. The type of work that I'm going to do is ethical land transition and cooperative stewardship. It's always hard to type when you're on a Zoom. I make so many typos. The type of resources that I can contribute. And this says to list by letter all of the following. So I can absolutely provide administrative support. I'd love to help with communications. I also have access to some funding. I'm probably not so good at planning assistance since I'm not always based there. So I'm not going to say that. And I'm a little bit swamped right now. So I'm not available for leadership opportunities, but maybe I would be in the future. And then I request membership. So as you can see, my request to join is pending. What happens there is that a notification is sent to one of the moderators of the group, and that is approved usually within hours. So now when I scroll and look at all of these different groups, I can see that I have requested membership here.
Neha, if you refresh, in your case, it's happened in seconds.
It's funny because I actually just got a notification on my phone that says PHA staff approved your request to join PHA Europe. So if I refresh here, thank you, Max, I will now see that I'm a member of PHA Europe. And I can see the topics that are happening within this group. People are talking about food and climate change, food systems, introductions, and so on. I can go ahead and click into that group and I can see more about the group. I can see what other members are there and so on. The different posts that are happening, events. Hey, we're in this right now, the Planetary Health Annual Meeting. There are no projects happening, but it would be cool to see a project come together. So I wonder if there's a project that I can create around land stewardship. And what I would want this to be is a study group around cooperative stewardship of land. So I'm going to go ahead and say study group for cooperative stewardship. I'd like to learn more about cooperatives, especially related to land projects. Do you know of any? Let's connect and share our ideas, resources, and desires. Here, I can think of some project members who I know might be into this. I actually don't know anyone who's in this group, so hopefully they don't mind me. Oh, there we have Jeremy and Joanna. So for this example, I know they might be interested in this, so I'll just tag them in. I can always add more project members later. Topics could be land, cooperatives, and cooperative stewardship. I'm going to post this in PHA Europe, but you know, there might be other people who would be really interested in this. Maybe this isn't just Europe. So I'm going to just go ahead and also post this in PHA Regional Hubs. That way, anyone who is a part of PHA Regional Hubs also sees this, but they'll also see the emphasis on Europe and maybe know that I'm going to be doing this mostly in Europe, but want to know what they're up to. I can make this public, and things are a little crazy right now. So let's have this start on summer solstice and go until winter. That's not winter. That's winter. And I'll say that this is mostly in, let's do Portugal because that's where I'm going to be based. And then that way, anyone who's all over the world and a part of PHA Regional Hubs can also see this and maybe connect me with folks who are in Portugal, even if they're not there. Again, you can go ahead and add more images in. As you can tell, I'm a very visual person. So I'm just going to do this because I think that's a beautiful picture. And then I can post this. Oh, I clicked too early, so the image didn't fully upload. But in the interest of time, I'll just go ahead and keep this way. And that's how you can create a project. You can invite other people in. Other folks will see this join project button, and you can start to just activate different ideas and initiatives right away. So I'm going to go back to groups here. And because I'm in PHA Europe, you can see that I'm connected to regional hubs. I'm also connected to the main Planetary Health Alliance page, and I'm going to go back there because I want to see what else is available to me to explore. So some of these groups have different icons. We just explored ones that were open and were available for me to join. There are also some that are protected. So I'm not a travel scholar, which means that I can't join this group. It's by invitation only. If I'm to click on that, I can see, okay, only members of this group can see, and this is invitation only. So we're really trying to make this super easy for everyone to get all of those different email listservs, get those WhatsApp groups, and have them be connected in one central place. So I saw some chatter about Clinicians for Planetary Health. So I'm going to click on this one and hopefully answer the question that came up about this. So Clinicians for Planetary Health, this is a public group. Only people who apply can see this, and they must be approved. So if I click on this, I can see all of the different questions that I need to answer in order to be approved. So there are different skills and interests that are interesting to me: Ayurveda, meditation, lifestyle medicine, so much. I love sleep. Let's put that in there. Global health, and so on. Do I identify as a clinician, healthcare practitioner, community health worker, student, or healer? I don't. So I'm going to put no, but hopefully this will illustrate what is possible if I say yes. But I might be a healer in a future. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Typos. Am I subscribed? No. So I'll request membership. Let's see what they say. And I know that the question was around inviting folks. So maybe Max, if you are a moderator of this group and want to speak to that a little bit, feel free to unmute, or I can give you share screen permissions. Max is really quick and she just approved my request.
We won't always be this quick, but we'll yeah, so for inviting, and I see Erin and maybe Tibet are on the call, feel free to jump in. As a moderator, there's a button for me to easily invite other folks. I'm not sure if we have that button for everybody. However, the link is super easy. So as you just see, Neha, if you go back, actually, just click back. That link, hylo.com/group/C4PH, is the invite link. So if you share that to someone who does not have a Hylo profile, they will get that. They can create their own Hylo profile and they'll be guided right into the C4PH group. So we'll make sure that this is on our website, all of the direct links to our groups. But as Tibet just wrote in the chat, coming soon is the ability for non-moderators to invite others. So as you'll see, Hylo is constantly evolving and we have a lot of amazing listeners and everyone sort of paddling in the same boat. So please do share those great ideas, and you'll also be able to see what features are coming up for Hylo.
Definitely. Thanks for that question, and thanks, Max.
Yeah,
Right now, oh,
oh, just to show while we're on clinicians,
mhm.
looking at the sidebar, we've explored home, we've explored map, groups, and members, but if we could show stream and the different views there, as well as projects and events. I think there's some examples in this group.
Yeah, let's do it. Great. Thank you so much. So if we look at stream, we can see all of the posts that are happening within Clinicians for Planetary Health. And you can also view this in different ways. You can see what's most popular. You can also see the latest activity. And you can also see different types of posts. So what if I just want to see the events that are happening? And I can go ahead and do that. I can see this in list view if that's a little bit easier for me. I like the card view. That helps me feel like I get a better sense of what is happening with each post. So that's the stream, which is every single post that's happened in this group. If I'm to click on projects, I can see all of the projects that are active or maybe the ones that have ended. So there's C4PH seed box. Let's see what this is all about. Please join this project if you're interested in growing the seed box. It's an open access and solutions-oriented repository of planetary health patient education materials for clinicians and patients. I think this sounds awesome. I would love to be a part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and join project. This sounds great. Let's have an introductory meeting soon. And if I want to actually share resources that I already have related to this, I can go ahead and do that. So this connects to Google Drive, my device. Maybe I already have a document or a slide deck that could be relevant to here. I can go ahead and just click on this and upload those files. If I want to create my own project, I can go ahead and do that within the project section as well. You can also see different events that are happening here. So there's a side event happening for PHAM, Planetary Health Annual Meeting. If folks want to join that, they can see all the information here. There's the Zoom, an overview of what the workshop will be, and you can see who's attending. I'm going to upvote this so that more people see it. And I would like to RSVP yes. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and invite other people. Let's invite Nathaniel. I'm sure he's going to be there. And let's also invite, oh, Claire's not in this group, so I can't invite her. So that's a great way to see that the events that are here are really specific to this group, this community. And that's a way to share events that are happening. Again, you can see the different members. If I want to know someone who's really good at advocacy in medical space, I can search for that and I can see a couple of folks here. That might help me think about what type of people can help me bring some of my projects to life. And again, you can see groups here and then a map. So this map is showing specifically who is a part of Clinicians for Planetary Health, what posts are happening, and where. And since we've just created this, it's understandably not very filled out, but I imagine that when we look at this page by the end of this week, it's going to be just completely filled up with many exciting things that are happening.
Neha, something cool that we can show is how Hylo remembers the setting you were just on. So if you stay on the map, you can see in the top left how we're in Clinicians for Planetary Health. But if Neha were to switch to a different group, you could do that. Oh,
Nice.
you went home before. But trying to show that if you stay on the map function, you can go to another group and it will keep you in the map function and just show you that different group. So that goes for anything. So rather than every time you switch a group, it's sending you back home, it'll actually keep you in whatever setting you were just looking at, whether that's the stream or groups or members. And I find that to be really helpful. If we pop to the stream in PHA main, something I want to point out too, because PHA is the parent group, so to speak, of all of these different groups, in this stream, you're actually going to have the posts from all the different groups within the PHA that you're a member of, you'll be able to see. So you can see this countdown to the PHAM was posted in all of these different groups. It's another way that you can explore and find groups and click it and join it and just hop around that way. But I wanted to show you that by joining some of the parent groups, so like the main Planetary Health group or the main Regional Hub group, it's going to be a collection of all the groups that are nested underneath it. So if you can imagine, this is really great for cross-pollinating our different work in the global Regional Hub group. It's a great way to do this inter-hub networking and to see what's going on all around the world.
Awesome. Thank you, Max.
I think the one thing we didn't cover is topics, but as you saw Neha writing, with her grapefruits being #fruit and #free, as soon as she created that post, it becomes a topic which people can then subscribe to. So you can say, I want a notification for every time someone posts about fruit, for example. So as our community grows, our topics will grow as well. So feel free to, subscribe or unsubscribe. You can create topics that have never been created, or you can use ones that are already existing in our community.
That's right. And you can see all of the topics on the left-hand side. You can see them in the different posts as well, if the topics have been created, and you can search by them as well. So I believe that there are many different topics spanning the Planetary Health Alliance community. So there have been default topics that have been created and many different ways that you can explore all of the different things that are happening. One thing I didn't point out is just the simple search function, which I can look up fruit, I can look up food, all of the different things. I can look at that within all of Hylo. This is searching all of Hylo and what I'm a part of, specific discussions, people, and then comments as well. And I think finally, this might be the last thing I'm sharing. You also have direct message. So if you want to be able to just reach out and connect to folks, this is a really simple way to do that. I can craft a new message to, let's say, Max, and just say, I think you are so great. Thanks for all your work. And that will go ahead and share that with Max. I can also do group messages. So you can see a couple of things here. I'm in conversation with Claire and Tibet and Sean and so on. And notifications will show up here as well. I'm going to mark everything as red. I know I'll get a notification in the way that I desire soon.
Right on this page, Neha, as you can see, recently active members. So if you hover over Jeremy, for example, you can really easily message him or view his profile right there. So these are all brand new features that just launched this week. So really exciting to have that quick access to people in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. So to just wrap that up, I know that was probably a lot of listening to me, but just wanted to share a little bit about where we're going next. Hylo is really actively involving based off of your feedback, your desires, all of the things that we're seeing in Zoom chat. And we want to continue to build this in a good way that works for all of you. So we're working on tools for project management, financial coordination, bioregional intelligence, collective moderation, and so on. This is constantly changing and evolving. So please reach out to us. Let us know what you want to see in Hylo, and we'll do our best to make that become a reality. We see this moment as the moment where we all become really active participants and members in this co-creation. So the Hylo that you see today is by no means the final version. Hylo will continue to evolve, stay grounded in our values based off of the things that you want to see. So I think that's it. We have a little bit of time for discussion and Q&A. But before we go into that, I just really wanted to thank Planetary Health Alliance and all of you on this call, all of you who are checking in on the recording. This work could not be possible without all of you. And we need beings like you to follow your dreams and create the incredible, impactful projects. You give this work meaning, and you give us something to be able to create and work for. And I'm so excited to live in the planet that you all create and to steward all of this together and to be just really aligned partners in all of this together. I'd also love to just call attention to the fellow core stewards of Terran Collective, who I believe are on this call with us. If they want to give a quick hello and unmute, there are many, many forces that helps this become a reality. So if Erin and Claire and Tibet and Sequoia wanted to just give a wave.
Sharing so that we can see Sequoia in all his glory.
I don't know if
he's really wanting to play with the computer right now.
I know, I saw a lot of dancing.
many generations have been a part of this creation. And is Tibet with us?
Yeah, thanks, Neha. I'm another one of the core stewards of Terran Collective and Hylo, and the lead developer of Hylo, and it's so awesome to see it come to life in this context, and with the Planetary Health Alliance being such an amazing partner to develop all this stuff with, because it's such a complex and wide-ranging and reaching network and alliance of people and organizations doing good work in the world. So really, really exciting. And we're excited to keep building this platform for all of you and with all of you.
We're so grateful. And I also want to say that Neha, Claire, Erin, Tibet, they really work to build their own community with the Terran Collective. So not only the Planetary Health Alliance, but they're working with so many other partners who are working towards planetary health. And as a result, Hylo is filled with so many amazing, amazing projects. Something I'm not sure we quite showed in the demo, actually screens are still sharing, on the navigation bar, you can not only see all my groups with which Neha showed, but you can also see public, just what's going on in Hylo. And I think you all will be amazed to find what else is going on even beyond the PHA network. And we can just keep expanding our circles. So just a shout out to all of the work you all are doing, both online and IRL in the real world. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been such a huge project, and now we open it up for all of you on this call to join and help us fill it with amazing stuff.
Thanks so much, Max. Thank you to Max, Marie, Joanna, Jeremy, and Ariel for being such incredible partners on all of this. To all of the early onboarders who hopped onto Hylo and got things populated and tested out bugs. This is just so fundamentally helpful, and we're so grateful to all of you. I'm going to drop in a couple of links in the chat so that you can start exploring on your own. But with that, I wanted to just allow anyone else to chime in with thoughts, questions, clarifications. We're here and available to you. We're also available throughout the rest of the week. If you go into the exhibitor hall, you'll see a Hylo booth where you can find the Getting Started guide and other websites to help you further your Hylo evolution. Yeah, thank you all for listening to me, and I'm really excited to see what we can do together. Thank you. I'm gonna scan the Zoom, so if I'm going quiet, that's what's happening. And maybe, I don't know, if folks have the raise hand functionality, feel free to do that, and we can call on you.
Amazing comments. Thank you, Clayton. Gratitude to you. There is even a building Hylo group on Hylo, so you can go in and start contributing there. Thank you all.
Cool. Anyone have projects that they're, yeah, Nathan, go for it.
Just real quick about the location. I know that it makes sense to be specific, but is there a way that potentially we could be allowed 2 locations? Just because I picked planet Earth and that probably floated me to nowhere, and I see that that is a useful function to connect with people locally, obviously, but it's also a certain part of identity, I think, to not be only attached to one place, and maybe you're born in one place and live in another. So hopefully that makes sense. And again, I don't know how easy that is, but at least a thought.
Yeah, that's a great one, especially with folks who tend to be based in multiple locations. That's something that we do want to consider and have a part of our roadmap. I'd be curious to understand maybe how many we want to have. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. And Claire, Tibet, or Erin, I'm wondering if you have any thoughts or reflections on that.
I think that's a great idea. Made me think that people could have a home base, and we could also have an option to show where you are in the present moment. Yeah, I love that idea, Nathan. Thanks.
Rafaela, if you're still on the call, you were asking how to find the groups. If you can just explain what you mean. Do you mean how to log in, or where you find the groups once you're in? Yeah, Vanessa, where you're working potentially is another location. You have an account already. Okay, so as Neha's going to show you on the sidebar, there's a few different ways to find groups, kind of like Facebook. You can sort of go in it and find different people and groups as you go along. So Neha is a part of all these different groups, which is on her sidebar. But let's click into Planetary Health Alliance. And let's maybe go out of, into home. So you can see there's a groups function right on the side there. And that shows us all the groups that are part of the Planetary Health Alliance. So that's really the best way. You go to Planetary Health Main and you go to groups and you can see everything in our network. And from there, you can join groups. So if Neha clicked like Caribbean, or join, it would, she could join it. And if there are groups on this list that she's already a part of, let's see if you're part of anything. North America. So if she clicks that, it says member, it will take her to the groups view within North America. So you can see the top left. Yeah, it has changed and you can see North America is a part of 2 groups. Cool. I think that answered your question. Awesome. Well, we scheduled, I think we're ahead of schedule, even though that was a lot of Zoom today. So thank you all for being with us. I know many of you were here for multiple sessions today. So thank you for being with us for launch day. You heard about many exciting launches. So just thank you for celebrating with us. And we hope that you can join us for the rest of Planetary Health Week. And definitely join Hylo. If you are hosting a side event or a festival event or have a project, please go into Hylo and help us share it. We really want to keep building up our communities throughout the week. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thanks. See you all throughout the week. I'm so excited for all the sessions that are happening and just really, really thrilled that this is a part of the world that we live in and this time. And it's going to be really exciting. I think the next decade is going to see thriving in many different forms within our collective and with the planet. And I know that you all are really big parts of that. So thank you, thank you. Thank you for your time. I know it's a different time zone for almost every single person here. So much gratitude for being attentive and on a screen. And we'll see you throughout the week.
Awesome. Thanks,
I'll
everybody.
stay on just in case, but I'll go on mute.
Tibet, Erin, Claire, thank you, thank you, thank you. We did it.
Good job, everyone. What a great presentation, Neha and Max.
I think we had about 100 people join Hylo today, and the conference hasn't even officially started.
So great. Amazing work, y'all.
Bye, thank you.
And I think like 30 or so people joined just in this presentation.
Yeah, at least. There were times when it was 40. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, guys.
Great demo. I'm glad we had this recording.